Welcome back to Just Between Us. It's time for topics!
XXXXXXXX, baby!
So, as we mentioned, this is numero 100. This is our 100th episode of the podcast.
100th episode! We did it! 100 up. Now we can go into syndication.
Yeah,
That's a joke for no one.
That's a joke for 90s
TV people.
sitcom writers. Okay.
Yeah.
In honor of this wonderful episode, we've been giving advice now for years.
Oh, wow.
I think long before we knew anything.
I don't think we know anything now.
I think we do. We have some wisdom.
We've learned,
time.
we've grown in public.
So I wanted to go over like what advice do you pull from in your life? Like what things like drive you? What do you think of that gives you strength? What has really helped you?
Ooh.
I made a list. Did you?
No, but I went back and watched some of our old YouTube videos. First of all, I went back. So I've watched the sketches for funsies, but like I went back and watched some of the couch shows. We're hilarious.
Oh, really? What happened?
What do you mean now we're not hilarious? Oh wow. No, we're like very funny.
Yeah, because we were playing caricatures, so it was easier to be funny.
No, I think we're funny now.
But I also think that when you're playing a caricature, it's really easy.
Yeah.
Because you have all these jokes because you're like you're playing like such a heightened version.
Yeah. So those episodes we were giving advice, which I think was like pretty good. I will say, is this advice that we've given or what advice have you written down?
Nothing. Very little that I've given. Mostly, I mean, I've given it because I've heard it, but not like things.
Okay.
There's maybe only one that I've created.
Two things that I've learned. One thing I learned from you was the importance of like pleasantries, like the importance of saying, hi, how are you? Or putting a smiley face in an email or like signing off with thank you, even though the other person didn't really do anything. I think that one thing that has changed a lot is my ability to be like, I don't really understand why this needs to happen, but I understand that other people like it. So I will proceed in that manner. And so that was something that you taught me. And then I think also like, advice that you have given me is like boundaries too. Like there was a period in our friendship where you were very helpful in terms of like a relative of mine that I needed to cut out of my life, where I felt I couldn't. And you were very pragmatically like, no, you absolutely can. you absolutely don't have to see this person anymore. So those are two things that I thought of just now in terms of like things that I think have changed my life.
Oh, wow. Well, the last point kind of brings up like my new mantra or guiding light is really thinking about what is it isn't serving you. And like I think sometimes it's like good or bad, and that can be like nebulous, but like, is this relationship serving me? Are these behaviors serving me? Like and then I think a lot of times with relationships, especially, you can say, is the current relationship serving me? Regardless of what happened in the past.
Right.
And then another one that like is somewhat new is, because I started teaching, someone messaged me on Instagram and was basically like, I had posted about like, that it was going to be my first night teaching or whatever. And someone was like, what you got to do is pull from all of the teachers that were good teachers. What were they doing that you liked? And so that's really like a new thing I'm trying to think about a lot is like modeling behavior. So like if I'm going to do something new, what have I experienced in that realm? Not even new, but like what interactions have I had that have gone well and how can I mirror them? And then one instance in particular where I was like in this part of this web series, and it had a horrible director, just like a toxic, awful director. And I learned a lot there about what not to do. So I think that like for me, the advice is really like observe the people around you and pull what is working and then make sure you avoid what you don't like in your own behaviors.
Yeah. It's hard for me to do that too, because I there are some times where I'll be like, that person really rubs me the wrong way and I don't know why. And then I'll be like, oh, it's because this is how you're acting.
So that's projection, right?
100%. I've learned a lot about vulnerability and like that you don't always have to look right and you don't always have to be the person who is the one who knows the most. And like, you know, I never used to say, I don't know. I used to feel like I had to present like an argument rather than just say, I'm sorry. Like I had to like present like exhibit A, exhibit B, here's my defense. And so like the amount to which I just say, I don't know, or I'm sorry now is like totally different because like you said, it wasn't serving me.
And I think when we're younger, it's like scarier to not know.
Yeah.
Where I think as you get older, you realize how little anyone knows and like everyone's still fine. Like, I don't know anything. And that's okay.
I don't know anything. I don't know shit. I don't know. My therapist today was like, it was something about like, do you know how you feel? And I was like, almost never. Like, I have no, like, I think like, I was so sure of so many things and I'm more open. Like I feel more open to like, I don't know, what's this going to be? What's that going to be? I don't know.
Totally.
I would love advice about career jealousy because I think I still struggle a lot. I really am trying. I've worked like, that's the thing I've worked on so much. Like I really, really, really try. And still like last week, I like had a full meltdown where someone else's achievement made me be like, I'm a loser. I'm a failure. I've never done anything in my life. I should die. And it's like, because someone else made a movie, like someone made a movie, so you should die. And like, why is that still a you know, like you think you think you've become so enlightened and then something happens and you're like, I'm just what I want. Same as it always was, baby.
But, you know, did that meltdown maybe last less time than it would have in the past?
Probably.
And like, and a week out, you're able to like see it with a bit more clarity.
Yeah.
So the whole thing is, it's not that you're never going to feel certain ways anymore. I think it's like your recovery time is faster. The amount that it affects you is faster, but you'll still have flare-ups of everything. I mean, I still really struggle with career jealousy.
It's horrible.
Yeah, it's tough. But I really liked like what our global career guy was saying on the podcast about how like we have this like scarcity mentality where like only like there's only a certain amount of things that can go around, but that's not true. Like there can be so many movies and so many projects. And so that's been a big shift that's been helpful for me. It's like just because they have this doesn't mean I can't have blank.
Our friend that I reached out to because I was like, hey, I like having friends who are also petty. So I can be like, hi, like shout out to Brittany Nichols, who's so petty, and also Kirsten King, who will indulge in pettiness with me, and Josh Gondelman, huge pettiness. It was sort of like this thing of like everyone is on their own timeline. Like you don't even want this thing. Why are you acting like you want this when you don't even want this? You're just like upset that someone else like did a thing that like isn't even like it's not even what you want. Like gain perspective. Kirsten said, imagine you 5 years ago, how excited they would be for you now. But even if that's not true, because things change so much, think about how much you've learned and how different things are than you thought. And that maybe in 5 years, things will be even more different. And in 5 years, things will be even more different. You can't even predict what's going to happen. We didn't even know that YouTube was going to be a thing and then YouTube existed. Like, you don't know. Maybe in 5 years, I'll make a movie that's projected into everyone's eyeballs. Like, who knows?
Oh, I hope not.
You're like, I don't actually want to buy a ticket to that.
Yeah, I mean, I think that I'm letting go of long-term plans.
That's
I'm trying to think a lot more in like short-term plans and like, because I can't predict long-term. And then I think the biggest lesson that I learned from my broken engagement, and this is something I've heard, but now like I truly believe in, love is a skill. It's not just a feeling. And like what matters the most, what matters is compatibility, 40%. And then 60% is like a commitment to making it work. You know? and like it's not some magical thing where like you just have to find your person and then everything will be fine and easy and then whatever. And like if it's not your exact match, then you'll break up so that you can find your true person. Like I don't believe in that. And I really believe that it's like about finding someone who you like enjoy, who you are friends with, who you are attracted to, and then making it work. And then I was talking to Shiva, who's been on the podcast, and she was saying, you know, I view it sort of like that it's not like you meet your soulmate, you like become soulmates through like the work that you do together. And I think that's so beautiful. And that's something that I'm really trying to carry with me moving forward. And I think that's why so many people have a hard time picking a partner. And like people want a partner, but then they find out, you know, but it's like making the decision that like this person is who I'm in with, and so let's fucking figure it out.
Yes.
You know?
Speaking of romantic figuring it out, Melissa, what's up with Hinge?
I couldn't tell you exactly what's up with Hinge because I haven't downloaded it yet. But I'm going to. Like I told you guys before, I have been working a lot, like 18-hour days. And I've recently promoted someone that works with me, and they're working full time now. So that takes a lot of time. So now I need to figure out me.
Yeah.
That's not working all the time.
Right.
And so I need to take some time to figure that out, and then I'll move to the next step. But I'm very thankful that Allison got that for me.
You weren't mad?
No, I wasn't mad.
No, I think it's a very thoughtful gift.
Well, it's a little pushy, so I was worried about that. But
No.
But I was like, you know, at the end of the day, you could choose not to do it. You could use the
I
money
could just
for
take
whatever
the
you
money.
want. Yeah, exactly.
No, I think that would be a shitty thing to do because I understand the intention behind the gift, especially since we had made that deal a long time ago. And so I really thought it was a thoughtful gift. And I appreciate it.
Thank you. I'm so glad you like it. And when you meet your future spouse, I can brag about it at your wedding.
Allison gets to make a speech.
Yes.
That's how I went back in my emails and I found that Brittany Nichols is who initially introduced me and Mal. So I was like, you get to do a tight 5 at the wedding.
Just between